It's Delightful Seams here again. I've done a few videos on my vintage machine here. This is a Durkopp Adler 1031 vintage sewing machine. It's a semi-professional, semi-industrial machine, and it is about 60 odd years old. They're not easy to date, but roughly she's about 60 years old. On this video, I'm going to show you how to use a twin needle with this machine. It can be set up for twin needle sewing. I have done other videos with a general walk around the machine. One showing you how to thread the bobbin, another one showing you how to thread up for a single stitching, one showing you how to use the decorative cams and the zigzag stitches, and this one's going to show you how to use the twin needle. So these machines take a standard 705 needle, or what we call a 15x1 needle, which is a standard needle with a flat back. This is a twin needle. Okay, so I'm going to thread it for this twin needle and show you how this works. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll work. I'm going to turn the machine round. Hopefully you'll be able to follow me. It's a bit Heath Robinson with my videoing. I'm not a professional. I'm just really doing it to help people out so they can see these, because I love my vintage machines. I'm going to start, and I'm going to put my first thread on the back spool here. And when you're threading for a twin needle, you need to think left and right. So as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be the right hand thread for the needle, and I'm going to thread that one up first. It makes it easier. So I take it through the little hoop here, and this is to keep your two threads separate when you're sewing with a twin needle. I'm going to then put it down the right hand side of this tension disc here. So there's a left and a right. So I'm popping it in the right hand side. I'm going to open up the front of the machine and take it down to the next tension disc, and again there's a left and a right hand side. I'm going to feed it through the right hand side, up over the arm, down through the pigtail, here clicking, and I'm going to take it through, oh no I'm not, I haven't put my needle in. I'm going to take it through the needle holder, but I'm going to pop my needle in first, it will help. Flat side to the back, and you find your hole, push it up and engage it and tighten it up like you do on any machine. So we'll carry on now. I'm going to pop it behind the arm at the top of the needle, and here's where we need some good luck. I'm getting on a bit, you know. The eyesight's not brilliant. I'm going to attempt to thread. Could be here a while. Talk amongst yourselves. I do wish someone would invent a needle threader. I know the modern machines have it. You know, those separate ones, but they break, don't they? You use them once and they break. Someone needs to make a posh one that lasts for ages. Anyway, threaded the right hand needle. So this threads down through the right hand needle. I'm going to lift my foot and put this thread to the back. I'm going to turn my machine back round, and I'm now going to thread the left hand needle. So I'm going to pop my spool on the second spool holder here and bring my thread, and I'm taking it down through the left hand side of the tension disc. Open my machine up again. Hopefully you can see what's happening. And I'm going to take it round the left hand tension disc here. And then I'm going to hold my spools and pull it to make sure it's in the tension disc. Over the arm, the same arm. Down through the same pigtail. But this thread I'm not going to put into the needle arm guide. I'm going to put it straight into the left hand needle. I find on this machine that it stops the threads tangling so much when you do them separately. Oh, well, I thought I'd got it first time then, but I haven't. I'm just going to thread up the needle again, talk amongst yourselves while we do our best to get it in. I've turned off the main lights because it was causing a bit of glare on the other videos, but it does of course mean that I don't have a lot of light to see with. So I am struggling really. I've got my stronger glasses on. I'm just struggling to see where the hole is, and of course I can't demonstrate it if I can't get it threaded up. So please bear with me. Oh, we might be, oh no, nearly. Is that it? No. Oh, I'm here all week. Okay, let's see. Nope, it's not playing for me. We will get there eventually. Is that it? I may have to cut the end off. I'm sure we've all been here before. As I was saying, somebody needs to invent an expensive one of those. There we go, and it's in. So, you notice I didn't shut my door until I've threaded my needle, because I have done that before and trapped the thread wrong. So I'm going to close it now it's threaded through. So that's both of my needles threaded, and hopefully now we're going to sew. So I've got my little bit of scrappy bit of fabric here. The things to check before you go whizzing off on your twin needles is that your needle is it's central. It's not right, it's not left, it's actually in the central position. Also that you haven't got your zigzag on, it's on 0 here, because that will cause the needles to be in the wrong position. I have done this before, you learn through trial and error. Also, gently turn your wheel, which turns away from you on this machine, to make sure your needles are not going to hit your foot before you start sewing. And they are clearing the foot, so we're good to go. Just get my foot here. And let's give it a go. Let's just hold my threads just to get started. And away we go. And that doesn't sound right. If you're familiar with machines, you'll know that really didn't sound right. So I'm going to find out what's wrong. And I think the problem is it's not caught with the bottom thread. I'm going to drop my needles just a little bit. So I'm going to loosen the needle and drop it 1 millimetre or 2. Tighten it up again, and I'm going to try again, because that clearly isn't picking up the bottom thread. So gently, I'm going to go gently. That sounds better. Let's see. Okay, so we've got one side connecting. These are, I think these might be just some cheap made needles. They're not expensive needles. And that's why I'm having to drop it just a little bit, not massively. And you have to be careful when you do this, because if you drop your needles too low, they break. So this time, because I've dropped it twice, I am going to turn this by hand. Okay, it's not hitting anything and breaking, so I'm going to give it a go and let's see. That sounded okay. Let's have a look. And this is quite a common thing on vintage machines. That the needles, as you can see, that's beautiful. Absolute beautiful, well, I'm hoping you can see. Beautiful twin row of stitching. On the back, what happens, because you may be thinking, well, what happens on the back? You can get this to look better, okay? So what happens is the bobbin thread zigzags between the two upper threads. You can get it to look more like a zigzag, but that just takes a little bit of messing about on some spare fabric and altering your tension. I'm just demonstrating for you, so I'm not going to mess about with it. I'm just happy I've got the 2 needles to stitch. We'll do that again. And as I said, it is quite common if you're, even on a single needle, if it's not stitching when you engage, on vintage machines, because needles used to be handmade, and other reasons, they're made in different countries or made of cheaper quality steel or metal. It's quite common that you need to literally just drop them or hire them a millimetre. But that is if your threads are not picking up at all. Give it a go, just drop it a millimetre and there you go, that's lovely, and it's doing a twin needle stitch. This is a great thing to use on stretchy fabrics. If you zigzagged and you turn it and you want to neaten that off, then you would top stitch using a twin needle. So I hope that's interesting for you, and you might consider getting an old pre-loved vintage machine to do your sewing on. I thoroughly recommend them. If you need to go for one that's almost all metal. This does have a few plastic parts on it, including the cams, but overall the rest of this machine is metal and it's fabulous. It will last my lifetime with me. I think it only leaves me to really do a video on oiling, which is really easy on this machine because they all have red marks on them. But I hope you've enjoyed my series of videos and that they're useful for you. Thank you. Bye.